roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel.
Aye.
Councilmember Beck.
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell.
You're
Mayor
mute,
Voss.
Brian.
Oh,
Aye.
mute Councilmember Mundell.
That motion passes. First item tonight's agenda is presentations is our 2021 Booster Day report. And with us, we have Stephanie Dorn. Hopefully. I know Stephanie was having some connection issues earlier. Jack, perhaps can you get hold of Stephanie and we'll move on to our sheriff's report?
Yes, we'll make an effort to get up with her.
Okay. So we'll on to our Anoka County Sheriff's Officer report. Good evening, Shelley.
Good evening. Here is our December report. DWI, there was one DWI arrest in December. The arrest stemmed from a deputy witnessing erratic driving conduct. The male failed field sobriety tests and refused to take a breath test once at jail. Flee in motor vehicle, possession of fifth-degree controlled substance. Deputy Collier observed a male driver with his head resting upon the steering wheel in the exit area of a trailer park a few feet back from a stop sign. Deputy Collier turned around and drove past the vehicle again, and the male had not changed positions. Deputy Collier then parked his squad behind the vehicle with emergency lights on. The male driver immediately exited his vehicle and began walking back to Deputy Collier. His call. Collier immediately to have delayed eyes and appeared to fly. Collier immediately smelled the odor of marijuana not happening. Deputy replied that he did not have hands, at which time Deputy Cobbin. The male they toward the center console with his right hand and left. Deputy Cobbin then pursued the male. Deputy Collier observed the vehicle traveling in and out of the west ditch. The vehicle was traveling at a high rate of speed, and Deputy Collier was concerned about the impairment. Deputy Collier maintained a visual on the vehicle as it was a fair distance away. Deputy Collier saw the vehicle lose control and end up in the ditch near 157th Avenue Northeast. The male suspect exited the vehicle and began running on foot. Deputy Collier was able to see the suspect attempt to hide behind a nearby residence. Deputy Collier drove up the driveway and the male then began to run again. The male ignored commands by Deputy Collier to stop and was under arrest. Deputy Collier then deployed his taser. The suspect did stop and was taken into custody. K9 Nico located a small baggie that contained a crystal-like substance where the male was taken into custody. The substance did test positive for methamphetamine and weighed 2.2 grams. A search warrant for blood was obtained and the suspect was transported to the hospital and then to jail. Scam. There were 2 reports of text messages received that were threatening in nature and included graphic pictures. The messages sent were requesting money or bad things will happen. It is unknown where these messages originated from and the number displayed was not in service. The victim of these messages did not do anything further, realizing it was a scam. And then our 2020 calls for service, we saw a reduction in calls for service from 6,230 to 5,291 comparing the 2019 to 2020.
I'm not sure if we lost her totally. Well, I think we'll pause Shelley's report and see if she can get back in, and let's move on to our fire department report. Hopefully Mark's there.
Yes, I am. Good evening, council. In December of 2020, fire department responded to 54 calls total. 41 of those were medicals, 4 of those were vehicle accidents, 3 were gas leaks. We had a snowmobile fire, and the snowmobile fire was actually inside the garage, and the owner actually pulled the snowmobile out, so the garage did not catch fire. We had 3 alarms. In my report there, you also see that we searched for a person. It was a young person, young teenager, who had wandered away from home. And before we mobilized, the deputies were able to locate that person. Couple things about 2020, if I could, Mayor and Council. So we responded to 700 calls in 2020. So that's a record year for us. 720 calls in 2020. We responded to 685 in 2019 and 633 in 2018, and again 633 in 2017. A couple things. Our busiest month in 2020 was August, and our busiest day, not surprising, was Saturdays. Saturdays and Wednesdays of all things. I'm still putting together the full study of 2019. It looks like as of right now that our fire loss in 2020 was about $625,000, which was less than the year before. Right now, or I should say in 2020, 67, or excuse me, looks like 68.5% of our calls were medical related. And like I say, for the February meeting, that gives, we're still getting data in, and then we'll have a full report of 2020. Any questions?
Any questions from Mark?
One for you. With that 700, what do you foresee that number keep going up every year from now on?
Well, I think it could level off for a couple of years at that high level, around 700 plus or minus. I would anticipate that number growing, especially with the population growing, with another apartment building going up. The senior home might use more than usual services from us. And depending what happens on the east side of Highway 65. But yes, I do see that going up.
Okay. Any other questions for Chief tonight? All right.
All right, everybody be careful out there. Remember, the ice is never safe. So if you're on the lakes, know what you're doing. And Happy New Year to everybody.
Thanks, Mark. I see Stephanie is back, and so we will come back to the 2021 Booster Day report. Stephanie.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor Voss and council members. I am happy to join in with you guys. I wish we could see each other in person. This has been such a strange year. As you know, in 2019, we ended up canceling booster days because of weather. 2020, we canceled because of the pandemic. And so now we're looking at 2021 and what do we have on deck for booster days. So right now it is a little too early to make any call one way or another with, do we cancel? Do we have a full booster day celebration? Because we don't really know much as far as what the governor and the state will be allowing for outdoor celebrations. Right now we're at a max of 250 participants. So we'll just kind of have to play it by ear with that. That being said, what we would like to do for Booster Days for sure is we would like to move forward with fireworks on July 21st. to have at least some semblance of a celebration and then build from there as we see possibilities of things opening up more within the state. We will also want to, I've talked with Carrie about doing the medallion hunt again this year because, of course, that's something where we don't have to worry about social distancing or anything because that's done as individuals. As a committee, in December, because we didn't have an event in 2020, we did an online drawing. We went around and bought gift cards from 5 local businesses for $50 each and gave those away. We had about 200 people sign up to for that drawing, and we gave away those 5 gift cards. So we might do that again here in the future, since we didn't really spend any money in 2020. And as far as our decision going with, you know, where we're at, I did speak with another coordinator of another local event, and they said that they're pretty much in the same spot that we are, where it's a little too soon to make any decisions. And so they're not booking anything, they're not taking registrations for anything yet. They're just kind of waiting to see what the governor does moving forward. And I also kind of looked at some other events, their websites, to see if anybody else was opening up. So I looked at the county fairs, and I looked at a couple other city websites that I knew had events. Everybody pretty much has dates for 2021 on their websites, but nobody has anything open as far as registration. There's no schedules, there's no details of anything of what they're planning yet. I think everybody is in a wait and see mode. The only city that I did, website that I did visit, that I did see that their event is canceled, is Lino Lakes is not holding Blue Heron Days this year. But we would like to move forward and have something so that, you know, we want to celebrate our community and our businesses. And so we want, and our residents. So that's where we're at with the planning. Are there any questions for me?
Stephanie, is the Booster Day committee still meeting on a regular basis, or?
We have not, because there hasn't been really anything to discuss. We will, now that, you know, we will be having a meeting soon, just to kind of touch base with everybody, but there hasn't really been anything to discuss yet. I've been in touch, sending emails with, you know, with people and with Troy and Carrie and stuff, so.
Okay.
What's the possibilities for a movie in the park look like?
Movie in the park, last year we weren't gonna have it anyways, so we probably won't be doing the movie night. We were gonna cancel that because the turnout is just not, the amount of money we spend on it and versus the turnout, it's just, we could use that money in other ways. So, but that could be something that we could reevaluate because of how things are for this year. And it might.
Yeah, I just thought I'd give you a little heads up too. We're gonna move our golf tournament back to September because we were concerned about an early thing too. So we're gonna move it back to September, just so you know.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Any other questions for Stephanie tonight? Well, Stephanie, we appreciate all the work you've put into the committee. Even I can imagine how frustrating it's been these last 2 years. And it's hard enough to plan, and then to have something have to be canceled. So I'm glad you're hanging in there. We appreciate your help.
Yep, I'm committed going forward. So like I said, we'll plan on the fireworks for sure, and I'll be in touch with you know, Jack and Councilmember Urkel and Harrington about meetings going forward.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
I think we have Shelley back.
I am back.
All right, there we go.
Get out? Did any of my report get out?
Some of it.
No?
You were discussing the the, second item.
The
Oh, no,
fleet
I'm
and-
sorry. You're just talking about the calls for service. You're just starting for
Okay,
that.
okay. So starting over, in 2020, we had a reduction in the calls for service of about 1,000 calls. We went from 6,230 calls in 2019 to 5,291. Overall burglaries were down from 16 to 12. The thefts went from 122 to 99, so there was a decrease in thefts as well. We did see a rise in assaults. We're up from 11 to 19. Damage to property reports went down from 45 to 33. Harassing communication calls were down from 18 to 4. And our overall arrest numbers were down in all categories for the year. However, we did see a slight increase in the domestic assaults and traffic arrests. And I know that there was some news stories about how people are driving a little more aggressively. Don't know why, if it's due to, there was kind of a decrease in traffic for a while, with most people being at home or working from home. And now if people just thought they could go as fast as they wanted and nobody's going to stop them. But we did see a slight increase in those arrests along with domestic assaults.
So Shelley, this decrease means almost 20%. Are you seeing that in other communities as well? Drop in calls?
Yes, yep. Overall, even nationwide, calls in a lot of these areas are down overall. And I don't know if it's because more people are, not going to work, they're at home and the opportunities are more limited. The majority of burglaries happen during the daytime when nobody's at home. So obviously with people working from home, that opportunity for has dwindled greatly.
Okay. Anyone else have questions for Shelley tonight? We're an easy crowd tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate that because for some reason I'm having some low bandwidth issues here.
Yeah, we're starting to lose you a little bit here too. So, all right. Well, thanks again.
All right.
Have a good night, Shelley.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.
Okay, on to the consent agenda. Motion tonight.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. I'd like to pull item C.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made second. Any discussion?
I'd like to pull item D, please.
Okay. Anything else?
I'd like to pull item B as in boy.
Okay, we have the bill list left. So any discussion on the bill list? Okay, seeing none. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundle,
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. Shelley, item B.
The reason I want to pull item B is for a spelling error on page 26, item 8, B as in boy. About halfway through, they misspelled the last name Beck. They have Back, B-A-C-K, instead of B-E-C-K.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Nope, there was another spelling error in the police report, but that doesn't have anything to do with.
Okay. We need a motion on this item then.
To
I'll make a
adopt
motion.
the,
Item B,
excuse me.
With
I'll
the change.
second.
corrected.
Tim made a motion. Was there a second?
I seconded.
Suzanne second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Nelson, can you take roll call vote, please?
Motion to approve item B as amended, Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundle,
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. Brian, item C.
I just have a couple of questions on the bid from Classic Construction. It states it excludes demo permit, demo and disposal of unforeseen debris, import, export of fill, and tree clearing, grubbing. I think that site's pretty clear, but is there any trees to speak of that need to be taken down?
You're on mute, Jack.
No, you're correct, Brian. The site is clear. There are no trees to be taken down. I think that's kind of just boilerplate language that they include in all their quotes.
Okay, next question I have, it states that there's a underground propane tank. How large is that tank?
We're not exactly certain, but we think it's not in excess of 500 gallons.
Okay,
It was buried underground. What it did, it supplied propane to heat the building.
all right, because where they have, it excludes import, export of fill. If the soil is equal out, if we're taking a tank out from the ground, are we gonna have limited soils to fill that back in, or is that not such a big deal?
That's really not such a big deal, as that site will be totally altered at that point anyway. So if there's not enough to exactly backfill it to the existing grade, it'll just be sloped, so it won't be a drop off.
All right, that's all the questions I had on it, unless anybody else has any questions.
I got one real quick, Jack. I read that email you sent today for when they were doing the sampling. I see you found some asbestos. Is that gonna affect these bids at all?
No, it isn't. That's included in the bid price.
Okay,
And that's listed under the second bullet point under the demolition proposal.
okay.
All right, if there's nothing else, I will make a motion to approve item C from the consent agenda, awarding the demolition bid to Classic Construction.
Second,
Motion made second. Discussion. Hearing none. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington,
aye.
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundle,
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. Suzanne, item D.
My question on item D is the fee schedule for commercial siding and roofing is changing from $100 flat fee to evaluation schedule. Can you give me an estimate of what that increase is going to be for the average house in East Bethel?
It won't affect the house. It's only for commercial projects. It's not for residential fees.
Oh, good to know. Okay. I will make a motion then to, does that mean there's still going to be an increase in fees though for commercial?
Yes, there will be an increase in fees for commercial.
About how much? About what percentage or dollar value?
It's really going to be based on the valuation of the project, and the percentage on that is based on that international building code. I would have to look that up to give you the exact percentage, and I can do that in a separate correspondence.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve item D on the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion made second. Discussion. Seeing none. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundle,
You're on mute, Brian.
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, that motion passes. There's no new business tonight. Department reports, Public Works.
Item 7.0 E1, 2021 Joint Powers Agreement Street Maintenance Projects. Cities of Coon Rapids, Andover, Anoka, Brooklyn Center, Columbia Heights, Ham Lake, Montemita, and Fridley entered into a joint powers agreement on February 1st, 2005 for the purpose of collectively bidding certain street maintenance services. The North Metro Street Maintenance Program, JPA, allows smaller cities to achieve more economies of scale in the bidding process and potentially achieve lower bids from contractors for crack sealing, seal coating, striping, and other maintenance services. The city of East Bethel joined this group in February of 2008. The city of Coon Rapids is the lead agency for this group. As the lead agency, they draft the specifications, solicit the bids, and provide the necessary documents for member cities to sign to participate in the program. The agreement is structured such that it permits each member city to accept or reject bids for their portion of the proposed contract. Each city will pay the contractor directly for their share of the work, and contracts will be awarded separately for the various items. The City of East Bethel has realized a savings of up to 20% over previous costs for these services through participation in the JPA Street Maintenance Program. The following projects are recommended to be bid as part of the 2021 JPA Street Maintenance Program. These projects have been identified in the 2021-2025 Street Capital Improvements Plan. The projects are chip sealing of approximately 62,000 square yards as part of the annual street maintenance program from the Northland Manor and Serenity Ponds developments. 20,000 linear feet of pavement markings is illustrated in the map that's in your packet, and 100,000 linear feet of crack sealing, which is on the same map. The estimated budget for seal coating, crack sealing, and striping the above streets listed is $200,000. These projects will be funded from the Street Capital Fund. Bids for the work will be received in early March and presented to council for final consideration at the March 22nd, 2021 meeting. Staff recommends City Council approve the proposed city project for bidding as part of the 2021 North Metro Street Maintenance Program, JPA.
Is there a motion on this tonight?
I will make a motion to approve the proposed city projects for bidding as part of the 2021 North Metro Street Maintenance Program Joint Powers Agreement.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tim seconds. Discussion. Jack, we have a kind of a history of having excess funds at the end of this. Seems like almost every year, which is a good thing. Do we have backup plans if that's the case?
Yes, what we can do, we can extend the contract of each one of these services if we need more. So if there's some other items that we can add for crack sealing or chip sealing or pavement striping, we can do that and amend the contract with each individual contract at the same
Okay. Okay. Any other discussion? You see none. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel.
Aye. Sorry, I said it too fast.
Councilmember Beck.
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell.
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye. That motion passes. On to our city administrator, Jack.
Item 7G1, Upper Rum River Water Management Organization proposed 2021 budget. The Upper Rum River WMO is a joint powers organization consisting of Bethel, East Bethel, Ham Lake, now then Oak Grove, and St. Francis. Statutorily, all municipalities in the 7-county metro are required to financially participate in the water management organizations or districts. Minnesota Board of Soil and Water Resources is a state agency that oversees and monitors the operations of WMOs. The member cities of the Upper Rum River Water Management Organization jointly address water resources issues in the watershed. The organization is operated by an appointed board which consists of 2 representatives from each member locality. The Upper Rum River WMO Joint Powers Agreement provides rules and procedures for operations of the organization. City Councilperson Tim Harrington and City Member Roger Loesch are East Bethel's representatives on the Upper Rum River WMO. The Upper Rum River WMO's draft 2021 budget is submitted to each member city for their input and is attached for your review. Any requests to modify this budget need to be submitted to the Upper Rum River WMO prior to their May 4th, 2021 meeting. After that date, and any comments or directions from East Bethel, our portion of the budget would be considered approved at the level indicated for 2022. Budgets for 2022 and the previous 4 years are attached in your packet. As you can see, the proposed budget for 2022 is $42,656 for the entire membership, and East Bethel's portion is $9,256. The Upper Rum River WMO understands that fluctuating budget proposals can be difficult for the members to accommodate. They recognize the difficulties this can pose. As opposed to levying excess dollars in years of lesser obligations and carrying those funds forward to years with projected increased costs, this is still a better budgeting option to deal with these changing requests for funds. As previously stated, the proposed 2022 Upper Rum River WMO budget is $42,656 as compared to the 2021 budget of $44,218. East Bethel's portion of the 2022 budget is presented in attachment 1. It's proposed to be $9,256 or a decrease of 4% from the 2021 city share of $10,641. Some of the line items in the budget are not sufficient to do all the work as presented in the Upper Rum River WMO plan, but are there to serve as match for grants that would cover those costs. These items are the Anoka County Water Resource Outlets Collaborative, projects detailed in the 10-year plan, and some sub-watershed assessment studies. If no grants are secured, the work plan would be scaled back to accommodate funds available for these projects. This time, staff recommends the City Council consider approval of the draft Upper Rum River WMO 2022.
Is there a motion on this tonight?
I'll make a motion for approval of the URR MWO draft 2022 budget.
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Discussion.
Tim, who is currently administering the Upper Rum River? I know some years ago it was Anoka Conservation District with Jamie. And I think they changed a couple years back. You know who's currently administering?
Yeah, Jamie's back in there now. We had the engineer from Oak Grove and Bethel, and then last year we went back to Jamie because he was cheaper.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think that I think that's a good decision. Jamie was very knowledgeable.
Jamie knows what's going on.
Yeah. Tim, has Sunrise indicated when their budget's gonna be ready?
I think at the last meeting, I said something, we're still working on it. But we got a meeting February 5th, and I'm hoping that we get something February 5th.
Well, that's good. It's Jack remembers years ago, we used to have trouble with both WMOs getting their budgets after we did our budget. So I think the years of kind of reminding them have paid off. So I'm glad to see their budget numbers this early in the process. So
yeah. So you should have something either the end of February or 1st of March.
All right. Is there any other discussion on this item? Okay, seeing none. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel.
Aye.
Councilmember Beck.
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell.
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. The February 2022, I think I should say February 2021 work meeting. I don't think we're gonna plan too far ahead. Jack.
Yeah, item 7.0G2. Our monthly work meeting is scheduled for February 1st, 2021 at 7 p.m. Items recommended for council discussion and review could include, but may not be limited to the following. Discussion of a final hopeful and resolution of the Bethel Haunted Trails Park. a code enforcement report, a discussion with our community development director on the comp plan and the zoning revisions discussions, so that this can be brought before council hopefully sometime in March, and a discussion of HR support for city staff. Staff recommends that council set the topics listed above for the February 1st, 2021 work meeting agenda.
Okay, thoughts?
One item that I'd like to possibly bring up at the work meeting would be release of the packets for the meetings. Currently, and I discussed it with Jack a little bit, that for the Monday meetings, for about a year now, packets, council's been in the packets on Friday. When we used to have the meetings on Wednesdays, we get the packets on Fridays. So it's a very short turnaround to have to sit down and study the packet in 3 days versus 5 or 6. So I was wondering if there'd be a way to get the packets released earlier, so council would have ample time to study them.
We can add that to the agenda.
I'd like to add a discussion about returning to meetings at City Hall. Everything's starting to open up everywhere, so I think if we discuss it then, maybe we can set a date.
We can add that to the agenda. That makes it 7 items. It's a long agenda at this point. Anything else? Then we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the topics listed for the February 1, 2021 work meeting agenda. To include
With
the
2
items
added.
added.
Yep. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made, second, discussion. Jack, you said Stephanie will be there at this work meeting?
That's correct.
So I'd suggest we put those items on top of the agenda while so we can minimize her time.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell,
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. Jack.
Item 7G3, spring meetings and events. The 2020 Spring Town Hall meeting, which has been conducted since 2005, was canceled last year due to the onset of the COVID pandemic. As COVID cases continue to rise and restriction on indoor public gatherings remain in place, City Council has requested to consider cancellation of this meeting, which has normally been scheduled in April. This meeting may be rescheduled for a fall or later date should the COVID situation allow for expanded attendance at public gatherings. In addition to the Spring Town Hall meeting, the annual pet clinic, which is held in their ice arena, was also canceled last year. Due to the complications with COVID protocol compliance for indoor gathering and social distancing, and concerns for enlisting volunteers to work the event, the pet clinic is also recommended for cancellation. There is the possibility of rescheduling the pet clinic at a later date should conditions improve to permit this activity. The annual Spring Recycle Day was canceled in 2020 due to COVID. However, the benefit of this event has essentially been neutralized since the city started an attended monthly drop-off day at the city's recycle center. This event, which is held the last Saturday of each month, takes all the materials that are accepted at the Spring Recycle Day, with the exception of mattresses and furniture. In addition, the drop-off Saturday event conflicts and competes with the Spring Recycle Day and has resulted in a significant reduction of tonnage collected at each location. While not specifically COVID-related, staff is recommending that the Spring Recycle Day be canceled, as it is a duplication of the function of the monthly Saturday drop-off date. Direction on these requests will enable staff to place information regarding these meetings and services in the city newsletter Spring Edition in advance of their traditional schedule. This newsletter is expected to be in the hands of residents by the middle of March. Staff has requested that City Council cancel the 2021 Spring Town Hall meeting, City Pet Clinic, and the Spring Recycle Day.
Make a motion to cancel the 2021 Town Hall meeting, City Pet Clinic, and Spring Recycle Day.
Second.
Made second, discussion.
With canceling the pet clinic, are we putting anything in our newsletter addressing pets and how to get them licensed?
That will be that's part of the reason we're doing this tonight, so we can get this information in the newsletters and give people options on the license stuff and vaccinations.
Very good.
Suzanne?
I think it's too early to be canceling any of this stuff. I think we should at least wait a month before we do this, because I am, from what I'm seeing, everything's going to be changed by spring. So I think waiting an extra month isn't going to hurt anything. And personally, I'd like to table this for a month, but I'm not really sure if it's too late in the process to do that.
Suzanne, can I just give you a little heads up? The pet clinic, Carrie's got to give the vet a year notice. So that's kind of out for next year. And the spring recycling day, you can go down to 22 and do it for free. Where the spring one, you've got to go to the ice cream and you got to pay.
And
it's a lot better option for people to go to the one on 22.
I actually agree with those two situations because of the reasons that you just said, Tim. But I'm more thinking of the other two issues on there, the spring meetings and oh my gosh, the words aren't coming to my brain all of a sudden. The spring town hall meeting, and what was the other thing on there? Mostly the spring town hall meeting.
Well, we would love to have the spring town hall meeting. I think it's a great event. The only reason we're asking for consideration of cancellation at this point is so we can get the information of schedules, whether we're having it or not having it in the newsletter, so people will have advance notification of it, primarily if we're canceling it. If we don't do it now, there won't be anything in the newsletter if we waited for a month to make the decision.
But the newsletter doesn't even go out till the middle of March. How long does it take to put something in there?
Well, once we send it to the printer and it gets printed and then sent to the mail distribution house, if we get it in the end of February, it takes approximately 2 weeks for it to be received by the residents. The thing about the spring town hall meeting, let's say that situations do improve so that we can have the event, then it can always be rescheduled at a later date. It doesn't have to be in April. It could even be in May or June. So just because we cancel it now doesn't omit the possibility of having it a little later on in the year.
Okay, I have nothing else to say.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel.
Nay.
Councilmember Beck.
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell.
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. Jack?
Item 7G4, authorization to bid the 186th Avenue Viking Boulevard Service Road and Utilities Project. Staff has submitted and is awaiting MnDOT approval of the final plans and specifications for the 186th Avenue Viking Boulevard Service Road Utilities Project. This approval could be received as early as next week. In order to expedite the process for council consideration of a contract award for the project, staff is requesting the authorization to bid the project as soon as the MnDOT approval is received. Normally, we would receive MnDOT's endorsement and bring this to the council at their next scheduled meeting for approval. However, due to advertising deadlines for the required public advertising and how they fall between council meetings, this could add additional time for the bid award. As time is of the essence regarding target deadlines for completion of certain segments of the utility extension and access to phase one of the development plan, this approval could save over a week and up to maybe 2 weeks on the start of the project. This time savings could be significant on the back end of the work with our commitment to provide access to a commercial site by July 1st, 2021. At this time, we are also working in parallel with the project bid on the final items which are required to complete all the regulatory agency requirements for this project, including Met Council and MPA sewer extension permits, Minnesota Department of Health water extension permit, Star of the North temporary construction easement, wetland permit from the Army Corps of Engineers, and the final approval on the Anoka County Highway Department intersection design approval. The city engineers informed us that we may experience higher costs than originally anticipated for the road portion of the project. We met with Mr. Yoakum on January 25th, 2021 to review this matter and consider options which we could encounter in this situation. With our discussions today, we would still have ample funds. We still have access to our MSA funds to cover any potential overage. And if we should have to use city funds, this could be used to reimburse that amount of money. The project budget is $4.51 million, with $3.2 million to be funded by MnDOT and up to $1.31 million to be funded from the city's water, sewer, and general fund. Although we are requesting pre-approval to advertise for the project bid, council approval is required for any bid award. Staff is requesting that City Council authorize the advertisement of bids for the project upon receipt of the MnDOT project approval.
Make a motion to authorize the advertisement of bids for the project upon receipt of MnDOT project approval.
Is there a second?
I'll
Second.
Okay, Tim seconds that. Discussion. Jack and Craig, hello, Craig. We talk about how you cautioned us about the cost may be higher as soon as the market's changing. Are there any items within the bid documents that potentially could be considered? I lost everyone.
Steve, can you hear us?
Steve?
I think Mr. Voss's line of questioning would be, is there anything in the bid documents or the bid? Are you back with us, Steve?
There.
Okay.
That's strange. Everyone went blank there. I'm sorry. So my question was, is there anything in the bid items that if we need to delete them or somehow make them alternate bids to kind of manage that ultimate cost? Is there anything in there?
One thing I talked to Jack about today was one of the big costs is there's some contaminated soil that needs to be removed on the route of 187th lane there. That item's about 170,000. However, we're working with the environmental. The MPCA may pay for those costs to dispose of those soils, but if they don't, we have an alternate. We have an alternate in the bid to just use a geotextile, geogrid type material, and actually just leave that material in place. It's not that it's contaminated that we're taking it out. It has some organics in it, so we could possibly leave that in place and use the geotextile. That's more like a $7,000 fix. So again, if the PCA won't help us out on disposal, that we would propose that alternate.
Has there been any discussion with the agency yet on the item?
West Central Environmental is helping me out on that. They're the ones that did that boring work the first time. So they're having discussions with the PCA right now.
Okay. All right.
There's some items, like street lighting, nice stuff we could probably eliminate. Not advisable, but there's things like that. And then we are routing that sewer and water further to the north. I think that was about a $90,000 ticket, Jack, if I remember right. But there's things like that we could eliminate, but at this point, not advisable, I guess.
I'd agree.
Say, Craig, my question is, at one time we were looking at February. What's a realistic date now of them starting?
Yeah, we're hoping to get started here at the end of March, early April.
Okay. Jack, that's not going to affect anything with the project on the east, is it?
No, Craig and I have discussed this, and we feel like if we can get that early April start date, we still have enough time to meet our commitments for the access to that commercial site. I've discussed this with the developer. I discussed it with him on Friday and appraised him of our current schedule. He is comfortable with that. That's why we're asking for the authorization to bid. It could save us a week or two on the back end, which may be critical. But the big thing is getting the utilities down there. Then we just have to provide them access. We can work in parallel, actually, with some of their work on the construction side. So the chances of them getting started by July 1st may not be realistic on their side either. But at least we've got some cushion there, and we should be able to fulfill those commitments.
And the project is set up now that they always have to phase, so they leave the quick trip site accessible. So.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, to the motion, Mr. Nelson, can you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington.
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel.
Aye.
Councilmember Beck.
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell.
You're on mute, Brian.
Aye.
Voss.
Aye, and that motion passes. On to staff report. Thanks, Craig.
I have nothing to add under staff reports.
Oh, on the council report. Brian.
We had our EDA meeting on January 19th. Pretty much, we welcome back Dan Butler to the EDA. He's been a longstanding member and signed up for another 6 years, which is great. Julie gave annual report, which reflected the report that she gave to council. And we started on a discussion for light industrial needs and zoning. Essentially where Anoka County said that businesses are looking for light industrial areas. Where traditionally they were down in Minneapolis, St. Paul, they are looking for get out of that area, not looking at the south half, and in fact looking farther north just because of land pricing. So we reviewed what light industrial area we have in the city, how accessible it would be to actually, how feasible it would be to actually use it for light industrial, and reviewing just exactly what light industrial would be. So this was just the start of a discussion to introduce it, and I'm sure we will be seeing this subject again in the future with EDA and discussing it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Steve, you're on mute.
My turn. Shelley.
Let's see. Not too much to report. Good news is we had 5 applicants to use different parks for baseball, softball, fast pitch. I believe there was one late applicant. Everyone was happy to see that there was people applying, so there's people getting out there to use the fields, and people are starting to get out of their homes, and cross-country trails are open and groomed. And then according to the park maintenance revenue expense statement for the 2020 fiscal year, they're about $60,000 under budget, which is awesome.
Okay, is that it?
I think that's it. It was a short
Okay.
meeting, and it was nice to meet everybody.
All right. All right, thank you. Tim?
I just want to remind everybody to stick around afterwards. We got our HR meeting right afterwards, and that's all I've got.
All right. Suzanne?
All right, well, I have a planning commission meeting tomorrow. I want to just bring up some complaints that I've gotten from phone calls. Somebody called and complained and asked me why it takes so long to get the booster trail, that circular trail that goes around that little lake there, plowed for, they're walking their dogs and stuff. And then the other complaint they called and asked me why fees for permits increase and why they need permits now and that they didn't need permits for before, that kind of thing. I guess that's all I've got.
Okay. And I have nothing tonight. With that, take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion made second. Mr. Nelson, could you take roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell,
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye, that motion passes and our regular city council meeting is adjourned. And we will convene our HRA meeting. When, Jack?
We're ready to go right now if you're ready, if you all are ready. So, Mr. Harrington,
Okay, I'll call to order the January 25th HRA meeting. Is there a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
I'll second.
Suzanne, motion, Shelley, second. All those in favor, I don't know if Mr. Nelson or Mr. Davis, whoever.
Motion to adopt the agenda for the HRA meeting. Councilmember Urkel,
Aye, this mute button.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell,
Aye.
Mayor Voss.
Aye.
Chair Harrington.
Aye. Item 3.0, appointment of officers, resolution 2021-01. Jack?
thank you, Tim. The HRA is governed by a board of 5 commissioners who are members of the East Bethel City Council. The HRA commission board members' terms coincide with their terms as members of the council. The 2020 HRA officers were Tim Harrington, chairperson, Suzanne Urkel, vice chairperson, and Tom Ronning, secretary. Staff recommends that the Housing and Redevelopment Authority appoint a chairperson, vice chairperson, and a secretary and pass resolution 2021-01 designating the officers for the 2021 HRA term.
I nominate Tim Harrington as chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I accept, thank you. I'd like to nominate Suzanne again for vice chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Shelley? And then I'd like to nominate, how about, we want to try somebody new? How about Brian Mundell for secretary?
Sure.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Steve will second. So we got Mr. Harrington's chairman. Vice chair is Suzanne, and the secretary is Steve, Brian, I'm sorry. We need a motion on that, don't we, Jack?
It'd be best to do so, yes.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I'll move Tim as chair, Suzanne as vice chair, and Brian as secretary.
I'll
Is there a
second.
Second,
Suzanne, second. Mr. Nelson?
Councilmember Urkel,
aye.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell,
Aye.
Mayor Voss,
Aye.
Chair Harrington.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 4.0, approve minutes from the October 26, 2020 HRA meeting.
Okay, can I ask a quick question before we move on?
Sure.
In our packet, there was a resolution to fill those positions. We didn't reference the resolution. Is our motion good enough to make that, Mr. Nelson?
Seeing the resolution, I think the motion would be good enough, but given there's a resolution in the packet, I think we should approve the resolution.
Do you want to amend your motion then, Steve, or?
Yeah, I'll amend the motion to reference resolution 2021-01. Resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Housing and Redevelopment Authority in and for the city of East Bethel, Minnesota, electing officers to 2021.
Steve made the motion. Is there second?
Second,
Suzanne, second. For the motion, you will vote again?
Yes. Councilmember Urkel,
aye.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell,
Aye.
Mayor Voss,
Aye.
Chair Harrington.
Aye. Now to 4.0, approval minutes for October 26, 2020 HR meeting. Any, is there a motion for approving minutes?
I'll move we approve October 26, 2020.
Steve approves. Second.
Second,
Suzanne, second. Discussion? Corrections? All those in favor? Go ahead there, Mr. Nelson.
Councilmember Urkel,
aye.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell,
As I was not in attendance, I will abstain.
Mayor Voss,
Aye.
Chair Harrington.
Aye, that motion passes with Brian abstaining. Item number 5, resolution 2021-02, setting meeting dates. Jack, is that you again?
Thank you, Tim. Housing and Redevelopment Authority bylaws require the HRA board to hold an annual meeting prior to or preceding the second regular city council meeting of the month of January in each year. The HRA must also hold regular meetings the first month of each quarter prior to or preceding the second regularly scheduled city council meeting, or at such time as the board may determine. This time, staff recommends adoption of Resolution 2021-02, setting the meeting dates for the Housing Redevelopment Authority meetings.
Is there a motion to approve resolution 2021-02?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2021-02, setting Housing and Redevelopment Authority meeting dates for 2021, as listed in the packet.
I'll
Is
second.
there Brian, second. Any discussion? All those in favor, Mr. Nelson?
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundell,
Aye.
Mayor Voss,
Aye.
Chair Harrington.
Aye. Item number 6, resolution 2021-03, designating official newspaper. Jack?
State statute requires that the East Bethel Housing and Redevelopment Authority publish its official notice in a newspaper that has general distribution throughout the city. The Housing and Redevelopment Authority is required to designate an official newspaper where the legal notices will be published. The Anoka County Union Herald meets the publication and circulation requirements as required by statute and has been designated by the City of East Bethel as its official newspaper for 2021. The Anoka County Union Herald is recommended as the HRA's official newspaper. Staff is recommending the Housing and Redevelopment Authority Board adopt Resolution 2021-03, designating the Anoka County Union Herald as the official newspaper for 2021.
I move approval of resolution 2021-03, a resolution designating the Anoka County Union Herald as the official newspaper for 2021.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Brian, second. Discussion? Okay, all those in favor, Mr. Nelson?
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundle,
Aye.
Mayor Voss,
Aye.
Chair Harrington.
Aye. Item 7.0, Resolution 2021-04, designating official depositories.
Resolution 2021-04 recommends official depositories for the East Bethel Housing and Redevelopment Authority funds. These agencies or institutions are the approved depositories for the City of East Bethel as adopted by City Council on January 11th, 2021. Staff is recommending the Housing and Redevelopment Authority Board adopt Resolution 2021-04, designating the official depositories for 2021.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2021-04, resolution designating official bank depositories for 2021.
Is there a second? Steve,
Second.
second. Steve, second. All those, any discussion? All those in favor, Mr. Nelson?
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundle,
Aye.
Mayor Voss,
Aye.
Chair Harrington.
Aye. And item 8.0, HRA financial update. Mr. Davis again.
Thank you, Tim. The maximum statutory levy for the HRA is 0.0185% of the previous year's estimated market value of all property in the city. In 2020, the estimated real estate market value was $1,326,806,200. This valuation could have enabled a maximum levy of $245,460 for the HRA in 2021. The HRA approved a levy amount of $69,500 for 2021, or 28% of the maximum, to protect the legal status of the city HRA as a standalone authority and to keep the HRA fund balance available for necessary projects. The unaudited HRA account balance as of January 15th, 2021 is $65,225. The HRA staff services for 2021 have been funded by a $30,000 transfer from the HRA account to the city general fund account to support the administrative duties, staff time, and other responsibilities required of the HRA. This transfer has been made for 2021 as it is reflected in the HRA balance. The tax settlement revenue will be distributed to the HRA in July of 2021 and December of 2021. The projected HRA account balance at the end of the year 2021 is projected to be $134,725, given no other expenditures outside the budget occur. This is an information item and requires no action.
Hey, Jack, I have one question. Are we going to use any of this money for that service road at all on the east side, or?
That's one of the possibilities for interim funding to cover any gap financing in case we have to use MSA funds. The MSA funds could be used then to make this account whole again.
Okay. Any other questions? One last thing to do. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second? Suzanne, you're the motion? Is there a second? Shelley, second. Mr. Nelson?
Councilmember Urkel,
Aye.
Councilmember Beck,
Aye.
Councilmember Mundle,
Aye.
Mayor Voss,
Aye.
Chair Harrington.
Aye. Well, that's it. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Have
You
a great
too.
night.